Khan Academy, Algebraic Thinking. We're working on the subtopic, Rules that Relate to Variables. Which rule describes the relationship between the input and output pairs in the following table? So input, 3, and then the output is 9. Input is 5, the output is 15. The input is 7, the output is 21. So add 6 to the input to get to the output. So 3 plus 6 is 9. 5 plus 6 is not 15. So A cannot work. Multiply the input by 3 to get the output. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21. So B is my choice. Just to double check, C says multiply the input by 2, then add 5. So 3 times 2 would be 6, and then adding 5 is not going to give you 9. Which rule describes the relationship between the input and the output pairs in the following table? Multiply the input by 1 to get the output. Okay, so 2 times 1 is not going to be 1. Subtract 1 from the input to get the output. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 doesn't work for this one. Multiply the input by 2, then subtract 3. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4, and then take away 3 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6, take away 3 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8, and then take away 3 is 5. So C is our choice. Which rule describes the relationship between the x and the y coordinates in the following table? Don't let it confuse you that it's saying x and y. It's the same as the input and the output. Okay, they just have the columns labeled differently. So add 2 to x to get y. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is not 6. Okay, so A is not going to work. B, multiply x by 2 to get y. Let's try that. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. So B does work. And then if I wanted to just double check C, multiply x by 3, then subtract 3 from the result. So 2 times 3 would be 6, and then subtract 3 would give me 3 here, not 4. So C is not going to work. Which rule describes the relationship between the x and the y coordinates in the following table? Multiply x by 5 to get y. 2 times 5 is 10. 4 times 5 is not 14. So A is not going to work. Multiply x by 2, then add 6 to the result to get y. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then add 6 would give me 10. 4 times 2 is 8, and then add 6 would get me 14. 6 times 2 is 12, and then add 6 would give me 18. Okay, and then just to double check, multiply by 4, then subtract 6. So 2 times 4 is 8. Take away 6 would give me 2. So that's not going to work.